It was June 1985 when I came to America. I was about 21 years old. Those days, the way it worked when it came to communicating with loved ones, especially back home, I will write a letter to my father. He will get that letter in a week or so. Then he will take a week or so to write back to me. Then another week for me to get that letter. So when I get that letter, I will read it. I will cry. That happened in the beginning. So that's how life started here in America for me when it came to communicating with my family. There were no cell phones then. There was one PCO, public call office, in our village, actually, the only one in many surrounding villages. So, our village and people from the surrounding villages used to come to make phone calls from that PCO, public call office. So, I will write a letter, my father will reply. So, this whole process took about a month. Occasionally, I will call the PCO, public call office, and let the operator know that on so and so date and time I will call. So he will inform my father, he will come on that designated day and time. We will talk for a few minutes. And sometimes he will book a call from there, like a 3 minute call, and we will talk. So that's how we communicated for a long time. Mid 90s, cell phones started, so we started talking frequently. Not every day, but at least we talked. We heard each other's voices. So writing letters became obsolete, thing of past. Also, during those years when I had to send money to my father, I will go to a bank. I remember, I think it was National Bank of Pakistan. The branch was across the street from United Nations office in Manhattan. They will charge few dollars to make a draft. I will mail that draft to my father, which he will get in a week or so. Then he will deposit it in the bank. The bank will take a couple of days to clear it, and then my father will get the money. Obviously, now there are so many apps, and the money is transferred like in a second, 1 second. You just have to swipe, money is there in the bank account. Anyway, that's like a side note. So, this is how life went on. Now, everybody in our household here has a phone. Everybody in our household back home has a phone. Some have multiple phones. Most of the communication, basically all of the communication, is done with the use of WhatsApp, voice messages, phone calls, video calls, sharing videos. So now I am about 60 years old. So I just gave you a rundown of about 40 years how our communication evolved with our loved ones back home. Two phone calls, every person, two phone calls. No son, no daughter wants to hear, wants to answer. Most of us, when we came abroad, different countries, America, Canada, Europe, Middle East, we were young. Majority of us had parents, both parents living, also relatively young, maybe in their 50s, 60s. For those of us, sons and daughters, who had both parents or one parent alive when we left our countries for the better future, those of us have to answer at least one, but mostly two phone calls that we do not wish to answer. I got first phone call on July 24, 2014. I was having lunch with my friend when my sister called that our father had passed away. I could not go right away. I was able to go 2 days later, but had I flown, had I taken the flight, the minute I heard the news, still I would not have been able to attend his funeral. I would have not been able to lay his body in the grave. I did go 2 days after his passing, stayed there with my mom and brothers and sisters for a couple of weeks, came back. After that, my brother who lives in UK and I went to visit our mother every year in November for 2 weeks. My brother and I, we were there last November, about 3 months ago. The second phone call came on February 26, 2025. I was asleep So I did not answer the phone, but when I woke up about 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, I had missed call, I had text message, and I had a voice message that our mother had passed away at the age of 88. It was expected actually because I had spoken with my sister day or so before, and she told me that our mom, was not feeling well, and it was expected. But still, these are the two phone calls no son or daughter wishes to answer, especially when we are abroad. We are not able to attend their funerals. We are not able to lay them to rest. I guess in a way it's good that since we or I did not lay them to rest with my own hands, maybe they did not pass on in my mind. I mean, the reality is that they did. They passed on. And that is the reality of life. Whoever is born will die. That's the fact. It's just a time. But parents, regardless what type of relationships we have with them while they are alive, there is no substitute for parents. I hope you don't have to answer these two phone calls anytime soon. Yes, you will have to one day. May that day come very, very late for you. Thank you.